I guess coming from me, 7 isn't really that much of a compliment because I look like a fucking 2 sometimes.
So what if, like, your asshole level is like a 10 out of 10? That'd be pretty insulting.
Like your
like
asshole?
your personality.
I mean, but what if
look
your
at that,
asshole
okay,
was like a 10?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah, but like if
that's
you were
good.
a 2, like no one would ever
Fucking-
get the chance to see your 10 because you're a 2.
Yeah.
Ace.
Whoa.
What?
Unless you just like walk down the street with your pants down.
With your asshole in the
Look
face.
at her!
It's just
And they
fucking
just fall in
getting
love with
angry.
it, and then they're like, okay, well that 10 asshole makes you a 7.
He's just like,
you take the average.
like her teeth are busted, her eyes are cross-eyed, she has little to no hair, but that asshole is ace.
Well,
And
welcome to Peeves and Qs.
Oh, is this on?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me!
I am your
They do
host, Mr. Red. Also with me is Clever Girl,
Hi.
Jody, Connor,
Thank you.
Quaff.
and Quaffman, and
Stop.
Dupert Rodriguez. Are
Andrew.
you still going by?
To some people, yeah. To other people, I am just known as a cunt.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh, starting that off right.
this is Peeves and Qs, a podcast where we ask each other questions and talk about what's annoying us each and every week. We're now going to move to our first segment. How are you guys?
Doobie, I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah. How are you?
I am doing a lot better. I've been moved out of my parents' home into a apartment
Woo!
complex.
Nice.
I am living with a roommate.
That's usually who you live with.
I mean, I it was either that or just, live with, like, an estranged hobo. Granted, I have to
That
pay...
would still be your roommate.
You know what they say, if you're not living with an estranged hobo, then you are the estranged hobo.
Oh.
There's actually a lot more ground for that than you think, because, you've seen how I dress and how I look. The only thing that keeps me out of hobo status is my teeth. That's it.
Okay, well,
And,
having
You're
a
not
home.
homeless.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a very important factor. Fuck.
Also, you know what? I just thought of that. I don't think you could live with a hobo because then they wouldn't be a hobo.
Wait, well, hobo doesn't necessarily mean homeless.
I think it does. I think that's where the hoe comes
You
from.
think so?
I think it's like
I feel like
homeless.
hobos are like the way people carry themselves and the way they look or act. I think that's what makes somebody a hobo.
What do you think the word hobo comes from?
Like the most angry of the homeless.
Yeah,
The most-
the craziest, the real
the crazy
the cracked out
motherfuckers.
ones. Yeah.
Like you see somebody stumbling out with like a bottle of like fucking Jim Byrne or Jim Beam.
What, Jim Byrne?
Jim Byrne.
a hobo is a migrant worker or homeless vagrant, especially one who is impoverished.
Maybe
All
like
right.
homeless
Okay.
vagabond, hobo, right?
Hobo.
Right?
Oh.
Okay, cool. Well,
You have
we
a
got
way
that
with
out the way.
words.
Yeah.
So is that how we are?
Yeah. I mean, I'm good. Clever Girl, Jody and I have been watching Sex and the City.
We have.
So that's
you ever
fun.
watch that?
No, honestly. I mean, I've seen like snippets of
Right.
it, like whole episodes and stuff, but like I haven't really just
Sat down and
Yeah.
watched
sat
it.
down and watched it.
Some of it is awesome, and some of it I've never seen. Like it came out on HBO,
Right, yeah.
and so
HBO show.
nudity, and so a lot of the stuff I've watched it on just regular television, so they cut most of that out. So it's like I'm watching it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's really good, and some of it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
For the most part, it's good, and it's a very weird show because in a lot of ways it's very progressive. It's about like women's, role in society and everything, and like decisions, and like I can be a working woman and all this stuff, and it's very feminist and progressive. But in a lot of ways, it's just very dated in the way that it views certain demographics. That's like, ooh,
so it's like a weird feminist sexist piece.
not sexist.
It was revolutionary for the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it
But
was
it just hasn't stood the test of times of now being in.
because like you look back on it, you're just like, actually, that's not like no.
Yeah, exactly. We find that a lot. We're like, maybe
we
not
just
so
don't-
much.
If they were to make this show today, this episode would be done very differently. But the show overall is pretty.
That's understandable. I kind of feel the same way about Bob and Tom Radio.
Yeah.
Like, I used to listen to him every fucking morning before I went to school. I listened to him because I loved him. And then, like, years and years later, I found, like, this Bob and Tom Radiogram CD, which was a double disc feature. And I was like, oh, shit, I haven't listened to this in forever. And then I turned it on, and sexism like you wouldn't fucking believe.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I felt so bad for Chrissy on that show. Or is it Christy?
Christy Lee.
Yeah, she just treated her like shit. And then Chick McGee is, like, the most misogynistic out of the three. Like, what the fuck is this creature? It was...
That's why I listen to Free Bear and Hot Wings. They're just idiots.
Yeah, fair. Honestly, they're better quality with less sexism. Good appeal.
5 out of 5 stars.
I don't listen to radio. That's beneath me. I do, however, listen to podcasts, which makes me better somehow. That's a joke.
Doesn't.
It doesn't, you pretentious asshole.
Well, this podcast is called Peeves and Qs, and what does the Qs stand for? Questions.
Yeah, but we don't. But we don't do those first.
You're right. We don't. Very good. Someone's listening. What does the Peeves stand for?
Peeves.
Peeves. Good.
Pussy.
No.
Not in this case.
Who has a peeve they would like to share with the rest of the class?
I got kind of something. Well, I hate when you have fallen out with a friend.
Yep.
And, like, you don't really want to talk to that friend, but you unfortunately work with that friend.
Ooh.
So, when you're, like, going into work, and you're just like, God damn, I gotta talk to him, God damn it, I don't want to talk to him, God damn it, I want to punch him in his face. Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna go do the cooler. And you slowly die and rot on the inside.
Yep.
Because all you really want to do is take that fucking cooler, open up a space, bring him into the back, and smack his face into the beer as many times as possible before you make, like, this gross ethanol blood soda.
You know the bad things can't happen to you here, right?
Oh, what?
You sound like you're doing really well.
That is awful. What is also awful is being in an establishment where you have patients that come in and hating a certain person who happens to be a patient, and you might have to work on them.
Yeah,
And you have sharp instruments like at your ready available. And
I forgot you were
like,
a dental assistant.
Yeah.
How do you not cut somebody on a regular basis just to be petty?
It's pretty. Here's the thing. It's really easy to not give in to those desires.
I honestly, if I have somebody that I don't want to work on, I don't work on them.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of feeling like Emperor Palpatine. I'm just like,
do it. Do it. Kill him. Do it. I didn't want to do it, so I said, screw it.
All right, that's
I don't see those people every day, but gosh, that would be annoying.
Right.
I won't have to worry about that for long. Fucker.
Well, you gonna have a last words with him?
Oh no! What I was thinking of doing was I got in trouble for this at work a while ago, so I figured since I'm leaving, fuck it. I'm gonna go to Frankenmuth and I'm gonna buy instead of pigs this time, I'm gonna buy tiny little babies, and I'm gonna glue them to the hood of his car.
Plastic babies?
Yeah, like you know those little creepy miniature things
that they put in ice cubes at baby showers.
I found a toy shop over in Frankenmuth that sells all of these plastic little miniatures of everything that you want. And the creepiest thing they have is like blue and pink babies, like clothing, not like skin.
Gotcha.
And I think that's going to be my next thing.
I totally was thinking the skin. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, gluing them in a formation to make the term rubbernecker on the hood of his card. Not because it means anything.
I was going to say, what does that mean?
It means nothing. I just like to confuse people. Last week I did this thing with
it does mean something, and we just have no idea.
No, it does. It means, somebody who, stops and looks when they're, driving.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, sure, but in this context, it's literally meaningless.
Okay.
I'm going the Death Grips route and just being vague for the fucking purpose of being vague.
So you're going to glue him to his car?
Yeah.
What type of glue are you going to use?
Car glue, obviously.
Wood glue. What do you super glue, man?
Is it going to ruin his car? Sorry.
Great.
Is it going to ruin his,
Oh, absolutely. Car? It's totally going to fuck up the car.
Doofy, that's...
The vandalism.
Not admit to that on the podcast.
That's vandalism.
Please don't.
Well, I mean, that person will not listen to this podcast.
That's not what we're
for years to come. So, this person isn't a podcast fan, so I know I'm safe.
But that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about the authorities.
So was this falling out, did it happen through work?
No, it happened through something else completely, and I can't really talk about it.
Oh, no, that's fine.
But I just know that he fucked over a friend of mine, and I actually vouch for this person. I vouched for him a lot, and that person ended up fucking him over really bad, and I was just like, oh wow, you actually disparaged my word. I put my neck on the line for you. Yeah. You cunt. You dirty, filthy falafel.
That's what gives a bad name to falafels.
I see what you're saying.
It's always rough when there's some institution in place that forces you to be around someone that you don't want to be around.
Yeah.
Especially if you used to be friends and now you're not.
Yes.
It sucks.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Well,
fuck that guy. He's such a fucking pussy.
Yeah, so who wants to peeve next?
Well, my peeve is when people call people pussies because I can't even say it. I don't like saying that word. Vaginas are way stronger.
Wait. Let me get this straight. You have no problem with me saying cunt,
right?
No. What you're missing. I hate when people say you're being such a pussy because vaginas just take so much more and balls are just so delicate.
Yeah, I don't get that.
So you should be like,
yeah.
Well,
like when people
why people say
balls
that
up.
is because pussies take a pounding all the time. They're used to that beating all the time.
Okay,
they keep getting
also
punished, beaten, just fucking.
But it's like
You think it'll hear that?
Yes, they probably can.
I'm sure they
punch
can.
harder,
dude. You're hurting
You're
yourself.
hurt. Yeah. Ooh.
But I think the bit is they can take a pounding.
Oh yeah, pussies are tough.
That's what I mean. So calling somebody that, it just doesn't. Yeah.
It's
just, you should call someone testicles. You're being such a testicle right now.
You're just a scrote.
Can we bring that
You're
to light?
a scrote right now.
You are being such a scrote.
The web series Game Grumps recently, I think it was recent, had an episode where they were like, we want to introduce the phrase "pussy up" to mean we're saying man up or whatever, because
pussy up, boy.
They do. They take a pounding.
So that's my beef.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Danny Sexbang argument.
I think he's the one.
I fucking knew it, the scrawny guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
I actually love Danny Sexbang.
Yeah, he's great.
Being such a scrote right now.
Scrote. God.
What a scrote.
Scrote, yeah.
What a fucking ball bag. Actually,
I like that one too.
I like that term better than scrote because it sounds way more disgusting. It's not even like a term.
I think scrote sounds worse because it's just shriveled at that point. Just scrote.
Dangling.
You're such a dangler.
When I think scrote, I think of the levels in a Stick of Truth or Fractured Butthole where it's just this just dangly ball sack
Kind of like a. Sorry.
Kind of like a what?
I got this horrid image. It's just kind of two walnuts hanging from stocking.
Yes.
Okay, well.
And honestly, it was such a stupid image in my head.
All right, well, you guys wanna. That's a good piece. I agree with you. I have one.
Okay.
If we're ready to move on from this.
I think we are.
No one else is ready to move on.
No. My peeve is, we talked a little bit about this in a previous episode, but when there's a joke in a movie that is revealed in the trailer, and then you go see the movie and that joke happens in the trailer, and people laugh as if they didn't already know that joke was coming. Maybe they didn't, but it's still part of the culture that this joke has already been revealed. For example, random example.
I'll give you another example.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
There was a bit in the trailer where they spoiled the Thomas the Tank Engine bit, where it they were shrunk in and they were fighting on a train track, and then one of them was like, oh no, a train's coming, but it's Thomas the Tank Engine, and it crashes and it zooms out, and you see it from the real scale where it's just dick, and then falls over.
Choo-choo, motherfucker.
That's very funny.
Honestly, I agree with that because I remember being at the Ant-Man theater and I was just we've seen this. The oomph is already out of the punchline.
And honestly, that's one of the better bits of the movie.
No, it's a very funny joke.
Yeah. Wasted. Fucking wasted.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly.
And I think that's part of what started my campaign about I'm going to watch one trailer or not. if I'm gonna see a movie, then I don't need to watch the trailer because that's what it's doing. It's trying to sell you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did the same thing for Infinity Gauntlet, actually. I didn't...
Oh, yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah, that's... what did I say?
Infinity
War.
Gauntlet.
Well, it's
What?
Infinity.
Oh, I thought I said,
Infinity
like,
War.
Super Glover. Fucking
What?
What?
What? You're
I
so
mean, it is
zero.
adapted from the Infinity Gauntlet.
And
The
it's
Super
Okay,
Glove.
gotcha.
Super glove. We know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I did the same thing, and honestly, it improved my my cinematic experience
Because
vastly.
you're not expecting anything. You
Yeah.
don't know what. You don't even know what scenes are happening.
I even went in like a curmudgeon. I was like, this movie's gonna suck balls. He's gonna look like that fucking purple nugget from McDonald's.
He did.
The Grimace.
He did.
Or
The
Mr.
Grimace.
Munch from Chuck E. Cheese, who we were just talking about the other day.
Holy shit, Mr.
I
Munch.
know,
I
right?
forgot he existed.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Alex cannot stand the M word.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He doesn't like the word Munch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's my peeve. It's when like people know something, and you're right. Maybe they don't. Maybe they haven't seen it. But it's just frustrating when people laugh at a joke that I don't laugh at because I'm the center of the universe.
Well, they just shouldn't. They
Put
just
those jokes in.
yeah. You don't put your best jokes in there, and don't make the trailer anything like not what the movie's like.
Yeah. Well, that's. A
I hate
separate
that.
issue.
I hate when the trailer's better than the movie.
Though on the other, Though on the
that
other
happens
hand, I
so-
love the trailers from the 70s and 80s, and even in the 90s, where you always, no matter what the movie was, had the announcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I always thought that was
What
a nice
happened
touch.
to that?
I think it's just a thing that died. Like, it died out.
Yeah.
Trend died, yeah.
The evolution of trailers.
But it
is so
explained
weird.
the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and even before then, it wasn't even like an announcer. It was like the Psycho trailer for the Alfred Hitchcock Psycho is just
Psycho.
Alfred Hitchcock like, this is a mansion that people go to. It's a hotel. Inside, very mysterious things happen. Let's take a look within.
It's like
And he,
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, he
Sound
like,
like-
tours you around the hotel, and it's like, in this
I feel like I'm over
sequence,
there.
something scary happens. I won't tell you what or whatever.
I am Orson Welles. I played the Shadow.
He's got like two things stuck all the way to the back of his throat. You're right, Sam.
That is.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't a good Orson Welles. Let me try again.
Oh, go.
Oh,
Really, that's really mean. I'm sorry.
But you
Thought it
just
was
know,
smoking for
like,
70
you just
years.
knew it was going to be either a good movie or a bad movie on how the announcer was like, in a world.
yeah.
Like, you can
Yeah.
tell how good it was just based on his level of excitement.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't give a fuck. In a world where...
Scorcher.
Like,
Meltdown.
Oh,
5.
I remember that movie.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that was the first movie we ended
That was
up
the first movie we ever. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I want to do a series of retroactive trailers where it's just like Kevin Costner, Barren
Yeah.
Wasteland. You guys know it.
Yeah. You've seen it, it's been out
Kevin
forever.
Costner.
Honestly,
The Wet Wasteland.
Yeah.
Waterworld. There it is.
Yeah, just go see it or don't. I don't care.
I pray to fucking God you never get a fucking time machine, because that's gonna be what you do. You're
Yeah.
gonna get like,
Mess with trailers.
you're just gonna fuck with the chair.
I'd love that to be like the power you waste a time machine on is just like manipulate movie trailers from the 80s.
For the lulls.
Yeah, for it to be funny. It's
Oh
like you
my
could
God.
like stop horrible events, or you could make movie trailers more funny for people in the future.
Hey,
Hey, what can you do? Yeah,
We'd probably start.
which
meta
one's
humor
going to bring you
way earlier.
instant gratification?
that's true. Yeah.
Movie trailers.
All right.
Sweet.
Well, who wants to take over another peeve? Anyone have a peeve?
Only the person left is Quaff.
Oh, for some reason I thought you still had to go.
Nope. Mine was Scroats.
Oh, right. Scroats.
Scroats my goats.
Don't scroats for goats.
Now I have another image in my head.
Now I have another peeve.
My goats. With this huge...
I'm gonna turn that into a fucking D&D character. Mr. McGoats.
Do it with his giant
I love it,
scroats.
guys. Should we play D&D instead of doing
Not
Now.
this second.
Not right this
No.
second.
Okay.
Yeah, so my peeve is like when you're having a discussion with somebody about something that might be heated and might be polarizing,
Yeah, controversial.
controversial. And I have encountered this particularly when we're talking about two opposing political viewpoints.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm already getting heated.
I don't even want to talk about it,
Right.
but like,
It just makes me
it
heated.
really upsets me when like I'm talking with somebody who is absolutely capable of having an intellectual conversation,
Or at least you think that.
no, they can't.
Uh-huh.
But like, they also say dumb shit
Right.
too. Like, there's someone I work with, and we talk politics all the time, and it's sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't, and that's great when we don't, as we talk about it. But he'll always be the first one to be like, "Oh, well, that viewpoint's retarded."
Yeah.
Or, "Oh, that's just retarded." And that really upsets me, because it's like, well, if you just don't like that opinion, that's fine.
Right.
But, like, when you choose to use words, or, "Oh, that lady's," like, he was talking about the woman that was recently, won, to be put on, she was put on the ballot. She's part of the Democratic Socialist Party.
Mm-hmm.
And he disagrees with that entirely, and that's fine. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this cunt," like,
fuck,
and
right up the gate.
and it's just like, why? Like, you have completely illegitimized anything you might have to
Say now because
in a conversation. It's like, well, no, I still have those opinions, and it's not my fault that other people. It's like, no, you cannot live in a world where you say words matter and intentions matter and how people perceive things matter, and then when you say it, or when people you want to select don't follow that, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's everybody else it's a
really fucking hypocritical notion.
Right. But and not even just that, but like it really bothered me, because like I have never said, like, what I wanted to be like, dude, like, shut the fuck up. What you said is retarded.
Right.
Yeah.
However, I have been on the opposite end of the spectrum when somebody actually says something that's actually dumb in the context.
Right.
For example,
yeah.
I was having this conversation. This was right after a shooting.
Oh.
Which, you know,
Yikes.
tensions are always high right after that.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm in this weird place because I do want better gun control. I do. I feel like that is demanded because our country, in my eyes, is pretty sick. My friend is a gun enthusiast to the point where he treats guns like toys instead of guns, which is what I think is a problem.
Right.
And I was telling him, it's like, I think we should have better gun controls. It's like, why not just get rid of all guns? I'm just like, you know, when you say that, that makes other people be like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But that's not even the dumb thing that I got mad about.
I just love the impression of the why not?
Why
not?
Like, that's not even the dumbest thing he said, though, because I was talking about, like, maybe making semi-automatics not available to the public anymore, because that seems to be the one that makes the most damage.
Or have if you like truly like for sport or for hunting, like fine, but you need a special license to operate that equipment.
I went hunting. You don't need a semi-automatic in order to hunt.
But that's the argument, right? And I love that. I was like, oh well, I need it.
I've never hunted a deer and tried to track the deer with like a got him. But anyway,
maybe you need to go through what?
Maybe you gotta take a couple of tests.
Mm-hmm.
See if you're capable of,
Oh, it's even worse. Like, I just feel like it needs to be stricter. And yes, I understand there's a black market, but when you start to increase the level of difficulty of acquiring certain items, the price rises on the black market for those items that become harder to acquire. And that already becomes a deterrent for such weapons.
Yeah.
Like, a gun here, you buy a gun, you get, like, spend a fucking $1,000, you got yourself a nice little gun. In Australia, you want yourself a gun, you can't get it legally. It's gonna cost you so fucking much.
Right.
And at that point, you can buy a car for the price of a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there's people buying.
And just run people over.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Anyway, like,
oh, God.
I was talking about, like, semi-automatics and how they shouldn't, like, be available to the public, especially not right now. And he's like, why? That makes no sense to me. It's just like, look, man, I understand that any gun can kill, but this has the most potential to kill a large group of people in a shortest amount of time. And he's like, well, you can do the same thing with a semi-truck, and I literally had a meltdown, hands to Jesus moment, where I'm just like, that is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
It was so benign. I literally flipped. And I was like, look, here's the difference between a semi and a gun. Yes, you can kill the same amount of people in just a short amount of time with a semi-truck. True.
Where are you gonna get a semi-truck?
No, it's not even that. I won't even humor that part of the argument. This is part of the argument I will humor. When you fire a gun, you're not riding the fucking bullets to people's bodies.
Oh,
when you're in the semi-truck, you're in the front fucking seat seeing all this shit happen, and you have to control where this thing is going. You don't have to fucking steer a bullet. You pull the trigger, the thing's like, alright, I'm there. I'm going there.
Magneto, he has to steer those bullets.
That's true. That is true.
That's how he killed JFK.
But for all of us that aren't mutants with magnetic powers, the
Speak
fucking...
for yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know any.
And then on the other end of that, like, when you're driving that semi, you're gonna eventually stop, whether it's by your own volition or by the volition of physics, because you're gonna fucking hit something, and when you do finally hit that thing that stops you, there's a pretty goddamn good chance that you're not gonna survive. At least if I fire a gun, as long as I'm not pointing at myself, I'll live.
Mm-hmm. What you were saying, though, was...
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good cap. No, because, like, it's that notion that, like, people that are capable of having an intelligent argument decide not to because they feel that what you're saying is not as valid. It's like, you can't have it both ways where you get taken seriously, but I don't.
I've definitely found that, and I'm not going to get into any specifics here, but there's one political party more than most that is very hypocritical, and it's like, if the other political party were to behave the way they are behaving, they would be furious, but it's fine when they do it.
Honestly, I don't regard those people as Republicans anymore, because to me, they don't have
like
Republican values anymore.
No,
to me.
it's completely different. Yeah, it's completely different.
Like, my favorite president in U.S. history was a Republican. Teddy Roosevelt. Greatest fucking president. Well, one of the greatest, at least. Beautiful fucking man. Made the wildlife reserves.
Got a great scrote.
Got a great fucking scrote. You ever see Teddy's scrote in the museums? It's fucking
like, for real, probably.
He really pussied up.
Like, he really did, dude. Fucking Teddy's Rough Riders. Oh, yeah.
I don't have the historical prowess to agree with you or not. I don't know.
I know a little bit about him, but I like him more. I used to like Andrew Jackson until I realized he was actually a horrible person, and he's the reason why there's a lot less Indians in America.
Yikes. Well, what can you do? I mean, not be racist, but...
I mean, I was 13 when I decided that, and then 15 I learned better.
Right.
Things happen.
All right, wow, that's a good one. I
good peeve.
Completely agree with you. Yeah, people should just, like, rise to the occasion.
Or don't say anything.
Or no, and here's the problem. Particularly, like, and I use this guy as an example that I work with. He is choosing the easier path because he's feeling frustrated and because he feels like he can't get the words, like, as if, like, I'm judging him if he takes, like, 5 minutes to, like, think about what he's gonna say. It's like, no, like, that's what talking and debating is. Like, but so instead it's like, oh no, like, I'm done, I'm angry, but I'm more really angry at myself that I can't really combat this argument at this moment. Fuck you, that's retarded.
Yeah.
There's no shame in having to wait a little bit to think of your argument.
Right, and that's...
Some people should do that.
Yeah.
More people need to do it.
This is something that I constantly struggle with, is I think we all feel the same way whenever somebody has, like, a really bad opinion, like, objectively a wrong opinion about something. Like, if somebody says Black Lives Matter and somebody responds with, like, well, all lives matter, you just immediately feel like angry.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, when people say all lives matter, you feel, like, immediately angry, and you're just like, oh, this person is just a bad person, and I don't even need to argue with them anymore. You're like, that's just a bad argument. That's what you think. But it's like, you kind of do need to argue with these people. You need to, like, convince them of why Black Lives Matter. Like, just stuff like that. Where somebody will have a really bad opinion, your immediate response is like, oh, that's dumb, that's stupid. Like this person does. But you can't think, I mean, you can think that, but you can't express that way. Because then
sometimes
All Lives Matter had the potential to be something a lot better than what it was. All Lives Matter could have been like, yes, all lives matter, including black lives, so we should help you.
Right.
They could have had that little momentum going, and then that could have turned into
But
a
it was
great...
in direct opposition to
No, it was a
Black Lives Matter.
fucking middle finger to anybody who is darker than pale.
I usually like the response like, okay, if I go into the doctor and say, my foot's broken, can you please treat it? And they're like, you have to focus on the whole body. You can't just grant special treatment to your feet just because you think it hurts or whatever. So,
Fucking quack.
So,
What a screw.
what a screw. So yeah, I like it. Good peeve. All right. Well, let's rewind to back when I was like, what does Q stand for? So what does Q stand for? You already answered it. It's questions. Who wants to ask a question to the group?
Since we've come up with new words.
Yeah.
Mine's really quick. Are there any words that are completely ruined for you now based on something that's either happened or based on something else? Here's one of mine, and I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. I work at a dental office, and when you're having work done, we use water, and so, water can get on your face. And my bosses, they're so sad. They always are like, "Oh, you get a free facial," and because of the porn industry,
Just being
porn,
being an adult, yeah.
So it's not the porn industry that ruined it; it's your bosses.
Yeah, they can't just can't stop giving you fucking facials.
Because
no.
A facial is a thing that's non-sexual.
Yeah, that is at a spa, you get a facial done.
But
or if you're
the word has been ruined by
you get a facial.
Right,
still good for your skin.
Yeah.
Still good for, yes.
I'm sure it's
salt exfoliates.
I feel
pulls the dirt out of them pores.
Do you know how much bacteria is in sperm?
So much cleanliness.
All right, well.
But that's a word that is just ruined.
Yeah, I have one similar. Squirt.
I love that word.
But that's not like for you, your M word. It's
not,
one of those words that I always, it's just sort of you didn't have to say that.
Yeah, it's you made a choice there.
Can you grab me a ruby red squirt?
Right, exactly. That's it's
it's kind of funny.
All right.
I actually have a bottle of squirt that doesn't have squirt in it. It's just a bottle of French vanilla creamer and a bottle of squirt.
I thought he was gonna say squirt.
The imagery of it is super suggestive.
All right.
I got it from my boss. Well, I also do have that one word that's been ruined.
What's that?
It's a very common word. The word really. I hate when that's used in singular sentence. Just
really? What?
No. It's really? Like that.
Oh, okay.
Because I had a boss that could only convey emotion through that word, and she would use it for every context, but only with that inflection.
Meaning different.
You know that creature from Mass Effect?
Not yet.
That big, bulky thing with the slits? No, not the Krogans. This is a specific creature in Mass Effect.
Hanar.
The Hanar they're this one is enlightened. Right. They're
Elcor,
the other.
Elcor.
That's the one.
Elcor.
The Elcors are actually one of my favorites, but
humorously,
they can't emote, so they usually say the emotion before they say a sentence.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite things about the first game.
I love in the third one, when you're on the Citadel, it says an all Elcor cast of Hamlet.
I was laughing my ass off when I heard that. I was almost pissing myself. But no, she'd be talking about it. Go from complaining, I had to go in the back stock and I saw somebody else's sandwich and I went, really? And then she'll go.
Meaning what? She wanted that sandwich?
Oh, she was disappointed at that sandwich. But then she'd go out about talking about this my niece's quinceañera, because she was Spanish and shit. She was my niece's quinceañera is happening next week, and I can't get the time off of work, so just really, and I'm just if you say that fucking word one more time, I'm going to knock down every single fucking toddler shirt.
Yeah, really? I'm going to really get you.
So yeah, that word's ruined for me, especially in that inflection.
Yeah.
If it's said in that exact tone, I die a little inside.
Really?
Ah! I hate it.
I get that.
Do you have one?
I don't know that I do. I've been trying to think of one.
Well, I got one. You got one.
Yeah.
I got one. No, hang on. I really do have one. What remake do you if you could go back in time, okay, and you could be in charge of a remake that you hate, what would it be?
First of all, I thought...
I literally am asking him if he has a word.
Yeah, I didn't know we were moving on, but...
I'm sorry.
But since I don't, it's good. We can
Go
move
ahead.
I thought you were asking if you had a question. I'm so sorry.
Whoops. You're good.
So, if you could be in charge of remaking one
Yeah,
thing...
so, like, in the catalog of, like, good films that have bad remakes.
Yeah.
Or, like, bad sequels, maybe? Let's extend it to sequels,
Sure.
too. And, like... But you could change that. You are now in charge of that one movie.
Yeah.
What is that movie?
Can it be anything, or does it have to be something that has had a bad remake, or can it just be anything in the world?
No, it has to have happened. That's the question.
What? I guess I don't understand.
Like, could I say, for example, the Room? Could I try to remake that, or are you saying
no? It already has to have a remake.
So, like, Total Recall, for example.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, you go first.
Godzilla.
Ooh.
Which remake? 98?
The Roland Emmerich one.
Oh, 98.
Yeah.
That movie
I
is
thought that was
terrible.
great.
What?
I'm totally kidding.
Honestly, if
Rewatch it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
we did just a few
You
years
should be
ago.
mentioning the newest one because that one did not have enough Godzilla.
Yeah, no, it did,
That movie
but
was bad, but it
But
wasn't as
it had
bad.
Bryan Cranston.
it's giving us Godzilla King of Monsters, and that have you seen that trailer?
I have.
Oh, it
Oh my
looks
God.
so
It does.
good.
Hold
King
on.
Ghidorah is coming.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'll remind you that the Godzilla trailer for 2014 Godzilla was really good as well.
It was okay.
No, it was great.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good.
I remember the one where they're dropping.
Yeah.
in, like that was good, but like all the other ones.
Yeah, that was a really good trailer, and so I'm nervous that they're just good at making trailers and the movie will be as
Maybe.
bad. I am still very excited for it, because even the 2014 one, while not great, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There was
Same.
enough about it that I was like, this is fun.
And honestly, like I really wouldn't. I mean, I would change a lot about that movie.
Yeah.
But like the biggest one would be have Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like-
that's
Either have more Godzilla or have more Bryan Cranston, because of the human factor.
Oh, I'm
he was-
talking about the Roland Emmerich
yeah.
one.
The guy who played
Okay.
Kick-Ass was in that movie, and he was like the main focus. Even though Bryan Cranston was what was drawing
His
people
dad.
into this fucking movie.
The Roland Emmerich one was pretty bad.
Yeah, I would. There's so much I would change about that movie.
I do, however, love the scene where he goes to like a supermarket and is like shopping during the Godzilla attack, and it's not abandoned for some reason. Like he's destroying the city, and he like runs into like his friend at the store, and he's like,
that requires
"Oh, hey, how are you?" And it's like, "No, it's an apocalypse! Run! What's going on?"
that requires total suspension of disbelief at that moment.
Yeah.
That joke requires for you to be like, okay, movie.
Yeah, I would just make sure, like, him being in New York is fine.
Yeah.
A lot of the humor was really aimed at, like, pissing people off, specific people, so, like, get rid of that. The human element of it was okay, like, that story between the scientist and the British, like, that was fine, keep that. Tweak it maybe a little bit, but definitely make it actually Godzilla.
Yeah.
And not just, like, an aesthetic thing.
Even though it wasn't really designed that
But, like,
well.
yeah. But, like, really be like, all right, hey, like, if you want it to be, like, a metaphor, like, like it always has been for it, like, have Godzilla come and go, not just within the city, have him, I don't know.
That's cool, yeah. I would be interested in seeing a Godzilla movie that took place, like, over a period of time, like, between two different Godzilla attacks. So, like, the first 25% of the movie is, like, an attack, and then, like, there's some time where it's, like, afterwards, and, like, the world is changing in some way, and then he comes back for another
They're,
attack,
like,
and
preparing.
people are like more prepared, and
Have
they're
you guys-
like,
They've done that in some of the older ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
well, because that was like
It's
a
kind
more of a
nice.
continuity. So it's like
Yeah.
we now live in a post-Godzilla
Well, I
world.
mean, even within some of the films,
Yeah.
like, that was like there was one, I can't remember which one it was.
I don't
thi-
have them all memorized.
I think it was the one with
That's
the
your
first.
mistake.
No. Have you tried watching some of the older Godzilla
Yeah.
movies?
Yes, I have.
I think
If
it
you
was
try to keep along with the story, you will get lost.
I think it was the first Mechagodzilla,
Mhm.
where it was like, all right, like, we need to fucking prepare. Oh, these aliens have, like, a mechanized Godzilla. We're gonna, like, make a deal with the devil, because they can, like, take out Godzilla.
Right.
I don't know.
all the-
Actually, have you seen the other newer Godzilla movie, Shin Godzilla?
Is it like an anime kind of?
No, it was by like I want to say it was by the company that like first started the idea of Godzilla, and then like
Yeah, it's Toho.
Yeah, it's Toho.
Yeah,
it's Toho, and it's basically doing what the new Godzilla did, except it
For the
combined with
Japanese audience specifically.
Yeah.
But oh my god, it's so much better. Even the story is better.
Mm-hmm.
How they handle like evacuations, politics,
All of that is
damage
great.
control.
Godzilla himself is I don't quite get why they like made him have like an evolution or have
Yeah, that was weird.
transformation.
I didn't get that, but you know what? The rest of the movie was done so well, I forgave that. It was not a very good evolutionary thing. That didn't need to happen. The Godzilla could have just been fucking Godzilla throughout the entire movie, and it really wouldn't have changed anything.
But he leveled up, so he had to evolve.
He's not a Pokemon. He's a Godzilla.
So what about you guys?
What if he's-
So what reboot would you do?
Yeah.
I know
did
which
have
one you should
when
say.
I don't.
Oh,
I'm
go
trying to
ahead.
say- No.
No.
I
I
don't
don't want to
say-
put words in your mouth.
Okay, well, I can't. I'll
I'm
have
just
to remember
saying
mine.
you'll know.
Okay, go around the other way, because I'm trying to remember mine.
Alright, well, I'm gonna say this. If I could remake a remake, it would be...
Or no, like you go back, like you are now in charge of that remake. This remake doesn't get to happen.
Right,
Yeah.
I would be doing the remake.
Yeah.
Well, I would do the remake of The Green Hornet,
Oh.
Okay.
and I would not hire Seth Rogen to be in this movie. Ever.
Or being involved with it at all.
No, he does not need... He's ruined that movie. That movie was a big dick and fart joke. That's all that movie
That's
was.
all he is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. You can be a big dick and fart joke,
He's a
but
throat joke.
honestly, it made me a little bit mad because in the original Green Hornet, that was a Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah.
That was a Bruce Lee thing, and I was just like, oh, that's so fucking cool. And honestly, I went from liking the movie to learning that fact to hating the fucking movie instantly. But I know that I would not be able to do it very well.
Well, I think that's aside the point from this.
So I want to say, like, I would make it even weirder and campier and make it less dick and fart jokes.
Mhm.
And instead of putting, like, Seth Rogen in it, I'd probably put Nicolas Cage in it, because I honestly think, even though he's a very shitty actor, he still would have done better.
Probably at the time.
I disagree.
Hell Rider, whatever it is.
Oh, no.
Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider was like
He's-
almost at the same time?
He's done 2 Ghost Riders. 2 origins to Ghost Riders. You know that?
Yes.
It's so fucking bad.
I think
hate it.
I think Nicolas Cage is a good actor who occasionally often does a very bad job.
Because
Because
he gets lazy?
I don't know
He
why.
needs
I don't know
guidance.
why, but like
That is what he needs.
No, I don't think he listens to guidance.
there's a very small percentage of his movies where he does a good job in it, and so I think you can't do that if you're a bad actor who accidentally did good. I think he's a good actor who just does a bad job often.
Nicolas Cage is a good actor. Is he a bad actor?
Yeah. There's an episode of Community where there's
Oh my god, we broke out it.
I think for the character in Green Hornet, this guy who's like a fumbling wannabe hero with the sidekick that's more competent than him,
Yeah.
or him,
Him.
he is. Nicolas Cage would be perfect for that because his bad acting would actually improve it. Kind of like how Batista's bad acting is actually good acting.
in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
Yeah.
For the kind of character that is, I think Nicolas Cage would be perfect for it because he literally can't ruin it unless he just decided to drop trow, take shits and piss all over the fucking set.
In which case I would hope that they would not use that take.
Again, there's like the second Ghost Rider, which he basically does.
Yeah. Jody, is there...
Well, I know one you should say is Independence Day.
Ah,
The remake of, or the sequel.
that is a great point for me, which I'll talk about when it's my turn.
I don't have... I tried to think of that, and really that only got stuck in my head. Well, another one that comes to mind is a movie we don't talk about, is Mean Girls 2.
Oh, yeah.
One, it didn't need to happen because the first one was so good.
Yeah.
2, if another one had to happen, you need to use the same people, and you need to, like, take these characters where make them go to college and see what happens in college. And
Was it
that
just
type of
an
stuff.
all
Oh, no, I think-
Yeah, it was an all new cast. Basically, it was basically Mean Girls, but again, and just a little bit different.
No, you can't replicate that magic.
That's stupid.
You can't. That's why I don't think it should exist at all. But
There's so many movies that fall down that path. It's like, let's
Grease
just
2.
yeah.
So for you, you'd go back in time and be like,
I'd be
we're
like,
not greenlighting this.
I would pull a Deadpool 2 and go back and shoot the person in the head.
Yeah, perfect.
I wonder if that's like actually canonical. I still don't know if that's just like a fucking just a movie joke.
No, I don't think that's canonical that he went back and killed Ryan Reynolds. I don't think that happened.
That would be cool, though.
It would be. It would be fucking hilarious because Wade Wilson constantly wants to die.
That is.
I guess I'd also do over the X-Men, the first couple of X-Men movies, or at least X2 and X3.
Mm-hmm.
They're mostly good, but they need some tweaks, and why not?
Yeah.
I mean, Fox did okay with those.
Right, they did okay.
It was only till X-Men Origins when everything went to shit.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins would be a good one.
First of all, I would keep going with Origins, but just
no,
do
it's
better.
not. It's just hey, the Wolverine.
It's part
story,
of
not
the
Wolverine story.
Although I think if they had continued with Origins, we wouldn't have gotten First Class because I think they kind of modified the ideas for Origins and said let's just do a bunch of them in one movie and tell the story of the origins of the X-Men. So I think,
do you like First Class?
I do.
I love First Class.
I do too. I think all those movies, while not perfect, I think they're really good.
They're very entertaining.
They're a lot better than a lot of people say they are.
Honestly, I love McAvoy as a younger Xavier.
I love Michael Fassbender.
He's so good. They're both so good.
I even like Apocalypse with all of its flaws.
Me too.
Because it reminds me not of a movie, but of a 2-part or 3-part season finale.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I want to keep watching the show that this is a part of.
Right. Yeah, it had a lot of potential, but I still get very upset because Apocalypse himself looks like a fucking... he looks like a bad dragon toy.
He's Mr. Ooze from the Power Rangers movie.
He's Ivan Ooze.
Ivan Ooze, that's what it was. That's exactly who he is. That's all I could see watching that entire movie. Ivan Ooze.
I'm never going to watch that movie and hate it ever again. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to laugh my fucking
I would remake that. I would keep the original cast.
Great. So that is a good point about Independence Day. I would definitely love, because Independence Day 2, did it have a resurgence?
Yeah, resurgence.
The movie was very bad in a lot of ways, and I'm not quite sure why. I haven't revisited it. I only saw it once in theaters.
I almost think it's the story.
It's
mainly the story.
It's a lot of things.
The writing.
It's lazy.
It's very lazy. It's very sloppy.
They counted on Jeff Goldblum to carry that movie. Yeah. And
he did.
He did what perfect. He could, yeah.
But yeah, so I would definitely make a lot of changes there. I was such a fan of the first Independence Day that when I was a kid, I actually started writing my own little baby script of Independence Day 2, what I thought it would be. And I always imagined it would pick up, or at least it would start immediately after the first one ended, and these ships have crashed, and there's regular humans that are going into the ships to investigate them. Not scientists and the military or whatever, but just people. Because they're oh, this thing crashed in my backyard. I'm gonna go inside it. And they encountered aliens. That's as far as I got. But I thought, how cool would that be? But I never did it. But my new answer, I was thinking about this and I actually let out an audible gasp when I thought of it. So I'm sure that's gonna be heard. And that is Fantastic Four.
Fan Four Stick.
I would, because I love the Fantastic Four property. Yes. I love those characters.
Look, I need to watch that movie. I didn't watch that fucking movie.
No, please don't.
I saw a little bit of the intro. I'm just they didn't care.
Literally just watch.
They didn't care.
Yeah. Watch Doom destroying the compound.
Yeah.
That's all you need to see.
Doom was scary, but
only
bad.
during that part.
Yeah, but bad.
You know, it'd be really cool if they actually did a Doctor Doom movie.
I mean, Doctor Doom.
The characters.
Cool.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hold on, I'm having a little seizure. Oh. The character Doctor Doom is a badass character, and I used to think he was kind of boring. And one emotion,
Skeletor,
yeah,
constantly just trying to yeah.
There have been a lot of complaints about fictional characters that are adapted from comics to movies that might not have been as faithful as they could have been. Oh, that's a completely different character. I don't think any character has had worse treatment than Doctor Doom, because watch the 2 movies.
I'm sure I could think of some.
Yeah. The 2 or 3 movies that he's been in live action,
absolute asshole.
Are I bet Jody, you've only seen those and you haven't read the comics. I bet you have no real idea what Doctor Doom is actually
He's actually
like.
a complex
Is he
character.
more like a Lex Luthor? Like has
Kind
like
of. He's more like a megalomaniac monster with like
with magic powers.
magic powers, and like
Yeah.
there's so much more to the character than like we've seen in the movies.
Like,
And it's, like,
there are
weird.
times where, like, he can battle, like, Doctor Strange, because he's as powerful as a Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
It's just magic, not even, like, his scientific whatever.
well, he
It's always funny to think about like the connections that could happen in the comics because it's all one thing, but like the idea of Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom meeting each other is so foreign to us in the movies because those companies are so separate.
Yeah, like they seem like two completely different. It's like comparing like a truck to a van.
Yeah.
If you did remake that movie, would you keep the like origin-ness of it, like how they got their mutations?
I don't super have a problem with like we're going to step into this machine and go to a different dimension.
I thought that was very clever.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. It's it's not faithful, quote unquote, but I don't care about faithfulness. Like everybody always says, this is not a good adaptation. I don't care about that. I just want it to be good, and that movie wasn't. Like
I'd rather have it be.
I like I didn't have a problem with that. Here's the thing.
I'll tell you what I had a problem with is this bitch's wig changing from scene to scene to scene.
Within the same scene.
Wait,
from shot to shot.
What are you talking about?
Sue
It's
Storm.
true. Sue Storm's hair.
It literally goes from like real hair with dark roots to a super blonde wig, back to the roots, then to a complete like an orange. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
This sounds terrible.
It's a
It is.
bad movie.
It's
Okay.
because they like dropped directors in the middle of it and like just tried to like
wow.
And I've
I didn't know
struggled.
that.
I've struggled to put into words why I think this movie is fundamentally broken at its very core. And it would be like if you were to make a musical and have no songs in it. Like, that is the thing. And it would be like having a superhero action movie with no action set pieces, like with no fight scenes. It would be like having a comedy movie with no jokes. It's like this movie is supposed to be this type of movie, and it has nothing in it that is what you want that movie to be. There's no moments of, like, science or revelation. There's no innovation.
Not really, yeah.
Right. There's no real action sequences until the very, very end. And, like, there's no, like, moments of this is supposed to be a family, so we're going to be together. There's nothing like that in the movie. It's just a collection of scenes with no theme, really. Or
Alex?
overarching... What?
I agree with everything you're saying, but because of the content of what you said, I now have an idea for two separate things.
Okay, what's...
Play the musical, with no songs,
Yeah.
and Comedy Gold, where not a single joke is ever told.
Okay.
That's the joke. That's my idea.
Alright,
Well, somebody else just stole it now because you
Get on.
let it out on the podcast.
Oh, fuck. Copyright. That's how you do it, right?
Yeah, you nailed it. They're not gonna show it now.
Yep.
So I would have it be like more of a sciencey family thing than a superhero thing. Like I wouldn't have like
Make
action
him like
scenes.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, it would be like Doctor Who. It would be like, it would kind of be like a mystery maybe. There's like something. It would be like about these people's connection to each other and why these people are a family. That's what it would be. It would be about them being like humanitarians and like trying to save people in the world and everything through science, not through super heroics and everything. But they do have these powers and they use them. So I would definitely make it. I would just make it a good movie instead of a bad one. Literally, I've talked about this movie before about there's some movies that are so bad they're good that you want to see them because of how bad they are, you know?
Yeah, like I'm a fan of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I love those
Right.
movies.
And then there are movies that are like, that was bad. I regret watching it. Not so much that I like that I watched it, but like I wish that I hadn't seen Fantastic Four. That's how bad that movie was.
I would also remake the remake of Dark Shadows because holy fuck, I hated that movie. And my mom loves Dark Shadows. And so we took her to see it. And she didn't think it was horrible, but I was like,
I watched that movie.
This movie.
The Johnny Depp Dark Shadows. No.
They spent so much money taking out his shadows and reflections, and he never blinks in that movie.
Right.
They spent so much money on that.
That's interesting.
Money that could have gone to, say, like, the homeless, or, like...
like, a
food.
better actor.
Or,
like,
yeah, sure, other movies.
Honestly, the whole thing that bothers me about that movie is that Alice Cooper approved himself to be in
Yeah,
there.
he was in the movie.
I was like, I
Yeah.
love you, Alice Cooper.
Forgot
Why the
about
fuck do you have to be a part of
It's
this?
literally in the
You
middle
think
of...
he's like a fan of the original?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. And
That's
he
the
probably saw the
problem.
after thing and he's just like,
Yeah. That's what... And you don't know it's bad
Tell you
until you're, like, knees
see
deep
it.
in it and you're like, fuck, I can't get out of this.
Right.
Like,
I can't just quit this movie.
And shit, there are things that like you just don't know.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Like,
you don't know
while
how
you're
it's going to
making
turn
it,
out.
yeah.
Right. Like the
There
director
are
might
some
come.
things, man.
The director might come to you and be like, "Hey, we're gonna make this." Like,
I'm
dark
sure
and
Helena
gritty."
knows what she's fucking getting into.
Yeah,
yeah, she's used to Tim by now.
she's had some experience. So
I just
that's
want
a
to
good
know,
one.
like, I feel bad for her. Like, her hair just has to be red, like, forever now. That's all she is now.
Wow.
She's literally been in, like, 5 movies where she's a redhead now.
Maybe she just has red hair. In real
She
life.
doesn't.
Yeah, but maybe she does now in real life. Maybe she dyed it and she's like, "This is what color it is." Anyway, so that was a really good question. I liked where we went with that. Cool. Did everyone answer?
Yes.
What do you say? I don't remember.
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet. Yeah, that's a good one.
Go Power Rangers.
No, she's...
No,
No.
the Power Rangers movie was.
She would have stopped the second coming of Mean Girls.
That too, but just as a Power Rangers.
Oh.
I did say Power Rangers, and I would do it with the original cast and
Oh.
probably take out the Green Ranger because fuck him.
God, I have a friend who's like a hardcore fan of the Green Ranger.
Usually everyone is, and I hate the Green Ranger. He's a dick. He's a dick in real life,
So you asked a question.
I asked a question.
You asked a question. It's your turn.
Wait, what?
You gotta
Ask
ask
a
a question.
My good dude.
Fuck.
Peeves and Qs.
Peeves and Qs.
Alright, if you had to compare yourself, your personality, and yourself as a whole to a blend of coffee bean, what would you compare yourself to?
Oh.
First of all, do you drink coffee?
I have 2 French presses at home.
Okay.
So
And I'm
no,
working
you
on
don't.
getting-
So no, I don't.
I'm also working on getting an Italian coffee maker and or a mocha pot.
That's cool.
I think they're the
So
same
you
thing.
love coffee.
You're a connoisseur. You're a
I've
coffee sewer.
gone
if you
a
will.
little bit insane. I have 5 jars of coffee, all of them different types.
Wow.
One of them is decaf and one's whole bean that I grind myself. I'm a little bit insane anymore.
That is what Americans do nowadays.
Obsessed. That's all I can do.
It's usually a West Coast thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point out the use of the word anymore that was just used and redirect everyone to the conversation we had on this podcast a couple episodes ago where I pointed that out and people didn't know when people used the word anymore, and that was it. Okay, so...
I feel like this is a weird conversation to have mid-talk.
Are you directing that at me?
No, he said it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I
Directed
thought
at
you
you.
I was like,
Wait, I feel like you're yelling at me like you yell at me for using the word ironic.
I'm over that. I don't
I asked
And
him,
also,
I
there are
asked
many
him all the
types
time.
of irony,
Yeah,
and
and
the way
that's-
he used it was irony.
So
The ironic part of that was I was right all along.
That is irony.
Did you see that?
So
glare?
anyway, what bean are you?
Me?
yeah, you answer.
I think I'd be like a blue Jamaican kind of bean.
Wow.
Oh, fuck. I don't know
Wow.
fucking this. Like, I don't... Shit. I don't know.
That's like the god of coffee.
I mean, I wouldn't
Is it?
say I don't. Again, I've only just kind of gotten to this level, so I'm still very new. I've just gone crazy.
I also love the look that you gave him when he said that, Jody, because it wasn't like surprised, you were like offended.
No, I
You were like,
wasn't. I just couldn't believe you went so high. Like, where are we gonna go?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
well,
All
this
right,
other-
fine. If you want me
No.
to tone it down, I'll make myself something more basic.
No, but that's not you. That's not you.
Yeah, that's
Don't
not
water
you.
Water yourself down like a.
All right. How about this?
Coffee.
There's a certain coffee making company that makes like really weird kind of like.
Folgers, yeah.
No, not Folgers. You kiss my ass with that
Natural
shit.
House. Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'
Why
Donuts.
don't you eat my
McCafe.
whole ass
Store
for
brand.
doing this to me? But no, there's this one blend of coffee at shit. Oh, there's this one company that
Coffee
makes.
shit. That's what
What's
you
the
get
name
when
of
you
the
drink
company?
coffee.
I can't remember the name of the company. I just remember it has like skulls on it and shit, and it's like
Whoa.
manly and shit, and it had like this maple bacon kind.
Cool.
It literally tastes like smoky coffee.
Mhm.
That's all it tastes like.
Okay, so the question was, what attributes do you like put yourself to the coffee bean? So if you're gonna go with the blue Jamaican, why?
Because I'm so fucking nutty.
That's awesome. I like that response.
Cool. Well, do you have one?
Are we going with brand or are we going with bean?
Whatever you feel. It
I
could go
fucking
any way.
know.
It's open.
I don't know what the
Open
coffee
season.
beans
Whatever.
Okay, if I'm gonna go with bean, I'm definitely gonna go with Punta Cana.
Oh yeah.
Really?
They have the best coffee I have ever tasted in my entire life.
I feel like you're biased in that having just gone there.
But I've had coffee here from all over the world.
Okay, cool. Well.
If I'm gonna go with brand, I'm gonna go with shout out Oakland Coffee.
Oh yeah.
I gotta try that brand.
Owners are members of Green Day. Billy Joe Armstrong, Mike
You're
Dirnt,
shitting
Trey
me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea.
They
Yeah.
started a coffee thing.
I love it. Mike Dirnt's head businessman of that.
See
That's
that?
probably like why. Yeah, CEO.
Gotcha.
So yep, shout out.
That's
They're awesome
really cool.
people.
I keep forgetting
All of their
about
stuff
that.
is organic, and all of their products are biodegradable. I'm really into that.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman started or was like
Yeah.
invested in one.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's not like the Green Day.
It's not like CEO of a company.
Yeah, no, but he definitely started it.
Huh.
Like with a group, with a company to start. Yeah, but
That's
yeah.
really cool.
But I haven't tried that one either. So that's another
That's
one I
awesome.
need to add to the
I
list.
want to try all these coffees.
Yeah.
I feel like Connor, you and I are in a similar boat.
Yeah.
Of just like I don't know. I drink Italian blend.
He drinks whatever I buy.
Dark roast coffee, and I like it. I would say like if there. So this isn't indicative of like what we like in coffee, but it's like what our personalities are, right?
Yeah.
But I also feel that like in this case, like because coffee can vary wildly as far as like one person liking one thing for one reason and
Right,
one person
right.
not liking.
Like, if
the
you're
same.
thinking of, like, stuff that you like, I've never actually had Blue Jamaican because I'm not fucking rich enough to buy Blue Jamaican that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
So I feel like in our case, if we were going to talk about like, it's one that we like that we think represents like.
Sure. Well, I'm just gonna put this to you. What's a coffee that's like smooth and like not too bitter and like
Well-
just casual?
French.
Well, if we're gonna go basic, I'd also say kind of pragmatic and practical.
Uh-huh.
Kroger brand.
Yeah.
They do have a pretty good selection, and it's not overly expensive. I would compare you to like a raspberry truffle.
A raspberry truffle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, I not a Kroger brand, but it was.
'Cause
Oh
it's
God, I
fruity.
don't remember what brand it was, but I had it. It was really good.
It's mainly because like you can feel more after you've tasted the coffee, and in essence of you get more after you get to know you.
Well, that's
Oh, that was so deep.
cool. I like
Oh.
I would say.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna cut all that.
fuck.
Out. Wait, what did you say? What do you say? Once again?
Raspberry truffle.
Okay, I'm cutting all that. All right, back in. I would say I'm a nice raspberry truffle.
Stop.
From a nice.
Oh, you
Jeez, what a dick. What a dick. What a
because I feel
screw.
like
What a
I feel
scrub.
like you get to know me and you get more out
Stop.
of me that way. All right, so
God, I don't fucking know.
I know, right? Just try to like.
So here's the coffee that I have found that I enjoy the most, which
Yeah.
probably means it, I don't know, pairs with my personality.
Sure,
I guess.
why
I don't
not?
know.
Your taste buds, at least.
Because I know different brands have this, and I know you can achieve this, but like a morning roast, like a light,
Like a morning blend.
like
Gotcha.
a morning blend, just super mellow, super chill, just like I'm drinking coffee, pour a little milk in it, and just sit there, read a book.
Cool.
That's like your basic like diner coffee is always like a morning blend.
Yeah, I love
You
that.
cannot beat a diner coffee
Oh, I
sometimes.
love diner
Unless they
coffee.
have shitty coffee, but
Well,
That's why you don't go to places that serve shitty coffee.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Bob Evans, you fucking cunt.
that's 3 times
Bob.
on the show.
what are you doing?
I actually hate their coffee. Like, they sometimes get, like, the coffee that, like, bottomless coffee where they mix caramel and whipped cream
My
with it.
parents cannot make a cup of coffee to save their lives. I think it's almost the coffee pot. It just like
They probably haven't cleaned the pot.
maybe I almost think they probably buy like half and half as well.
Right.
So
I don't like half and half. That's just me.
what's the
I don't-
point?
Yeah. What's the point of decaf coffee?
Well, I get decaf coffee, but
Yeah,
don't
you
give,
want the flavor,
don't give
but
me
you don't
half
want
calf.
Yeah.
Half calf is so stupid,
Because it has caffeine, so it's
but
Well,
it's
that's-
only half of
But
it.
there are some people that need half calf, so my grandma has to drink half calf after her heart attack.
Yes.
Like she can have caffeine, but like she had to cut down on like
Right.
amount. I mean, she still drinks like sodas and stuff, but like she's
Yeah.
like, if I'm gonna cut somewhere, like let's cut.
I also like when they put like more of the like green coffee in it, like the green coffee bean, because that's more of a metabolism booster, and like it just you just go forever on it, unlike coffee where you're like zzz, and then down. Like
I like green beans too.
Fucking classic jokes. Look at him, boy, he's so funny.
All right, well, that was a good question. I really like that.
That was a good one.
Even though,
Thank you.
even though
it
some of
literally
us
came
don't
out of
know.
your ass, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
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 Also, just for anybody who is more knowledgeable about coffee than me, just remember, I'm still learning. This is something that within the last 3 months I've gotten way into.
That is something
really
we should
cool.
always preface, like, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true even if you're very knowledgeable in something.
Yeah.
Like, you're always still learning. Cool. So I guess I'll ask you a question. So let's all take a trip in our minds for a minute. Let's imagine it's the future. Ooh. And
That's a fucking ass.
What year?
1999.
It's 2001, A Space Odyssey. It's like 2188 or something.
Oh
It's like
my
the distant
God.
future. And they've started to release like body modification, like cybernetic augmentation. And
And
so,
we're all still alive.
Wait, are we in
We're all still
Shadowrun?
sure.
Are we in Shadowrun
Yeah, we're
right
in
now?
Shadowrun.
Oh my
If you could
We're not in
choose,
Shadowrun.
if you could choose what type of augmentation to get, let's say you had to get one, you couldn't abstain. Someone's got a gun to your head and says you have to choose one type of thing. What would you choose? Like, what's some kind of,
I have no
Oh,
idea.
hell yeah, I know what I want.
like a cybernetic implant somewhere that can do
Though I am
something.
going to be inspired.
Like, we'll
by
give
Shadowrun.
examples, so maybe that'll help you.
Okay, yep.
So for me, I have a toss up between two, and one is like a USB stick in like my finger and like my pinky or whatever.
That's
So that I
not
can
the
just,
word I
like,
thought you were
I
going to
was
say.
Yeah, no, it's in my finger, so that I can just like
Finish
hold
strong.
on to my my laptop and like plug into it and be like typing on stuff, and then I can just let go. That would be
Yeah,
it.
but you could only type with one hand.
That is true. Maybe I would have like an extendable thing, like in
Like Go-Go Gadget.
the Go-Go Gadget, yeah. Or my other one I would say is like flashlight eyes that wouldn't like it would everything would look normal to me, like it wouldn't be bright in my eyes, but it would be like wherever I look is lit up flashlight wise. That one's actually useful. The USB thing is a funny joke. So who if you had to get some type of augmentation,
Replace my nervous system with fiber optic cable.
Christ.
That'd be cool.
No,
That's expensive.
Because your muscles can handle way more information than what our own nervous system can.
Okay.
So like we wouldn't like fry our brain, and we wouldn't fry our muscle. So like reaction time would be a lot more. Like they'd probably have a lot more like energy throughout. Like just I don't know. Like it just.
It's always crazy to watch like slow motion videos of somebody getting hit with something and how much time it takes for them to like get out of the way or move. you think it happens instantaneously, but it does not. So that'd be really cool if we could just be like, I'm out of here.
Me?
Yeah.
If I got a cybernetic implant, I'd get a new fucking heart.
Uh-huh.
Calories be damned. I can eat as much fucking bacon as I want. Try to get me now, heart attacks.
I don't think that's the biggest reason that people don't have calories.
Or wait, what did I say? Calories?
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, that's not what I meant. I just meant like cholesterol. That was the word I was
Okay,
looking for.
cholesterol.
God
You know
damn
what? That comes from calories. That's fine.
it.
Okay.
I don't know. I get something that like cleansed my body really well all the time.
A liver?
Like a liver
Like a
that-
synthetic liver.
that operated like at super
Oh.
capacity.
Yeah, that like
That
filters
sounds
your
better.
yeah.
That is super flush.
super fluff.
I have the skin. It's made of super.
Well, like anything, yeah. Like if something hits my skin, it like just completely like absorbs or detoxes or like whatever it needs to do, just like constantly.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
But
I can turn it on and off. so if I want to get fucking smashed, I can get smashed and then like instantly like
But
detox
hangover.
it, no hangover.
But you could set a thing where it's like hold all of this alcohol in like a special pouch inside the liver and then just like piss that out later instead of dissipating it throughout the body so it's unhealthy or whatever.
Dude,
I guess.
the way you make that sound, it sounds super clean and sterile. You might as well you're recycling the drink the entire fucking time. You
Yeah.
never have to buy another drink again.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
But then he would drink piss.
I would also have like a stomach that had like you could connect to your phone and like modify like the settings on it. So it's like, hey, turn down all of the fat in this food that I'm about to eat, so that I do not absorb that, and that I don't like
iron stomach.
yeah, like an iron stomach. Although it'd probably be made out of steel. Jody.
It actually would be made out of titanium, so our bodies would actually be able to use it. So.
Yeah, I think bodies reject steel, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think that would be really cool to be able to like modify what you're eating to be like, it's actually going to have, these potato chips are going to be very nutritional now. Cool. I don't think it would work that way.
It
But I would
has
be able to like,
have nutrition in it.
but it would be able to like block the things that it does have.
Yeah.
And then just be like, put this in like a special container that will like enter my colon and my waste supply. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So that'd be cool, right?
That is.
I'm trying to still figure out the logistics. Are you trying to select certain nutrients out of food?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what
So
you're
like
saying.
a food editor.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, that makes much more sense.
Like, I'm gonna eat this steak, but I don't want any of the fat from it, or
Right.
whatever.
Or like cholesterol, I'm gonna like turn that off. Or like high stuff that's high in sodium, but you still like the taste. It's like I'm gonna get the taste, but not the negative things.
I wonder where you would store that waste product.
Like he's just saying, it would get bagged off separately and just.
It would be like
colon.
it would be like blocked off into tiny, almost imperceptible. Like
I mean, if it was like super advanced, like your body just does that, and that it just doesn't process the other stuff for that time period.
Yeah.
So like it would just go through the body naturally. Yeah,
You would have massive
massive shits.
I'm fine with that.
but like wet shits, but yeah.
Less fine with that, but
because of all the fat and stuff that you wouldn't be absorbing.
Get some fiber in there.
yeah. And then turn the fiber setting all the way up.
And you'll never shit. You'll just bind forever.
Fine.
You're gonna
75% fiber.
You're gonna be like Nibbler from Futurama, just dropping balls.
Dark.
Yeah. Bam. Like,
You know what?
Just like crack every toilet bowl.
Oh man.
Do that anyway. All right. Well, that was gross. That was.
Gross.
I think that was Peeves and Qs, right? Was that Peeves and Qs?
It was.
Cool. Well, awesome.
Fucking know. I'm a guest.
I just love having to be on because I just never know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. I have been Mr. Red, your host. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can do that at Mr. spelled out the long way, Red2342. That's at Mr. Red2342. You can find the podcast at Peeves and Qs. You can email us at peevesandqspodcast@gmail.com. Anyone else have anything?
Like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. Like us on Twitter, I think. Yeah, I said that already.
Yeah.
iTunes, give us those reviews.
Guys, listen up. Come in here real quick. Listen, are you listening? Okay. If you like this show, or even if you don't, give us a 5-star review and review us, because that's how other people listen to the show. And maybe you want to complain about how bad it is with your friends, and that's how you do that, right?
That you bond over that.
You bond over, yeah, it's like sharing a common enemy.
It's like The Room.
It's like The Room. We all love it so much because we hate it. We're like The Room. So just give us some reviews. Or if you love us, give us some reviews. I don't know.
And don't forget to send $5 to somebody's Patreon. Whoever has a Patreon here, send $5 to that, and you'll get a thanks. But it's just the verbal confirmation of thank you. We're not actually going to send you like a thank you letter. Just the word thanks.
And this is it right here.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for the $5. Keep listening. Please.